Hey, it's almost Christmas. We're about to celebrate the birth of Christ. But was he really born on December the 25th? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, the short answer to that question is no. At least probably not. In fact, the earliest attempt to try to pinpoint the birthday of Jesus was done by a man named Clement of Alexandria around the year 200, and he said that Jesus was born on, wait for it, May the 20th. So how did we wind up getting to December the 25th? Well, if you read the internet, if you pay attention to social media, you'll have some pseudo-sophisticated people trying to say, well, the reason that it exists on December the 25th is because Christians just reappropriated some pagan celebrations from early Rome. And while it is true that a good many of our traditions that are associated with Christmas have come to us because we've adopted some of the rituals and celebrations from other pagan festivals, it's not true that the reason Christmas is celebrated on December the 25th is because we were just trying to change a pagan Roman festival. As a matter of fact, the adoption of pagan customs and reappropriation of those customs for Christian celebrations started long after the early church had kind of zeroed in on December the 25th. So, when did we do that? It actually started again about the year 200. A man named Tertullian of Carthage was trying to determine, based on the data available to him, the calendar day of Christ's crucifixion, and he settled on March the 25th. The problem with the celebration of Easter as it relates to March 25th, though, is that Easter moves with the Jewish calendar and its celebration of the Passover. So the fear was that this date that he had zeroed in on as being the calendar day of Christ's crucifixion would be lost. And so they kept it in the calendar, but tied another celebration to it, something called the Feast of the Annunciation. Feast of the Annunciation is the remembrance on March the 25th of the angelic vision to Mary, where Christ was conceived. The early church believed that Christ was conceived and crucified on the same calendar day. Now, whether that's true or not, we don't know, but traditionally that's what they believed, that Christ's conception and crucifixion occurred on the same calendar day, March the 25th. Well, guess what day shows up exactly 9 months later after March the 25th? Christmas. And so Christmas is celebrated on December the 25th because of an early church tradition that Christ was conceived on March the 25th. Now again, we don't know whether all of that is true, but does that mean that we shouldn't celebrate Christmas? Not at all. Even a cursory reading of the New Testament will show you that the birth of Christ was important to the gospel writers. 3 of the 4 allude to it. 2 of the 4 have very specific details surrounding the birth of Christ. It was important to them because it fixed in history a moment where God came to us. So as we celebrate Christmas, whether that happened to be on May the 20th or December the 25th or January the 6th, whatever day, we are celebrating the idea that God came to us in the flesh, celebrating what John says to us in John 1:14. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we have seen his glory, glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth. Never miss an episode of Just Ask by subscribing to the link that you see on your screen. And if you have a question that you would like to submit to Just Ask, email us at justask@bluevalleybaptist.org.